Team Talk.
If you're injured and need a lawyer, go to handleonthelaw.com.
Handle on the news as we actually go through as many stories as possible, because there's a lot of news. Jennifer Jones, Lee, Wayne, and me. Lead story. A god-awful story yesterday. This building in Miami, this condo building, just an entire wing just collapsed. It was 9/11 in terms of the collapsing of the building. They don't know why. Came out of the blue. It was 1:30 in the morning. And 4 people confirmed dead, 159 people unaccounted for. And so you would think they would have already taken out dozens of people from the debris. They haven't. And the reason they have no idea in terms of how many people, imagine this, it's 1:30 in the morning, you're asleep. And so you're not wearing ID. Obviously you don't have your ID with you. A phone, you don't have a phone next to you. Or if you do, it's on the nightstand, and all of a sudden the building comes down, so you're not going to see a lot of people making phone calls, and they only heard a couple of people, witnesses, yelling for help. And they, if you saw the video, if you saw the news last night, one 10-year-old boy was pulled out, alive, and he was able to get his hand up through the rubble, wave his hand, and yell for help. Here I am. It is a horrific story, and civil engineers are going to go crazy. I'll tell you, I would not want to be the contractor or the designer of that building, probably the contractor.
Well, a couple of things. There are reports that there was roof work.
Yeah, but how is that going to affect the collapse of a building if you're talking about roof work?
They talked about the load that was on the top of the roof, and could it have been on one particular area that was specifically weak?
Could be.
Equipment that had been brought up there. Also, they talked about the settling of that building.
That, I think, is a bigger deal. One part settled more than the other. As far as the roof is concerned, I mean, these buildings are over-engineered. And so they're not going to be loading up slabs of metal or concrete up on the roof. It's going to be whatever supplies they need, new air conditioning units, etc. So well, we're going to find out. And a lot of civil engineers were interviewed, and we'll see what happens. I mean, but first, obviously, the rescue, and unfortunately, it's going to be turning into a recovery very quickly.
All right, the Delta variant is spreading across California, but it's not all bad news. So when it comes to the battle against COVID-19, even though health officials say, yeah, they're seeing the Delta variant going like wildfire through California, the thing is, if you've got a vaccination, what was the doctor yesterday, the epidemiologist that you said, he said from UC San Francisco, if you're vaccinated, it's nothing. If you're not vaccinated, you're hosed.
Yeah. Here's the question I have, and I've been talking about this for weeks, especially when the Delta variant came into being, and that is, at this point, all of the hospitalization and the deaths, all of them right now are people who have not been vaccinated. So at what point is it a tipping point where enough people who are not vaccinated have someone they know or someone who knows someone they know that's in the hospital, or God forbid they're dead? At what point do they say, maybe it's time for a vaccination? Or is it no one's going to tell me what to do, and I don't care if my uncle died of COVID? This number is going to, it's interesting where that's going to go. And I don't know the answer, but obviously if there is a surge, and the surge is going to be among the non-vaccinated.
Speaking of vaccination, the city of San Francisco says you work for the city, you're going to get vaccinated. They've got about 35,000 municipal workers in San Francisco, and all they're waiting for to implement the requirement is full federal approval for the vaccines.
Yeah, but that's months away. And then once that happens, what's the timeline for people to get vaccinated?
They don't really have a specific timeline because they don't know when the full approval is going to come.
Yeah, but after that, they're going to have X number of days.
Yeah, they'll figure out, I guess, a reasonable time frame for people to get vaccinated, and there will be legitimate exemptions.
Sure.
But if you don't get vaccinated and you don't get a legitimate exemption, you will be fired.
Yeah.
All right, the CDC now has extended its eviction moratorium to the end of next month. And according to the CDC director, this will be the final extension of the moratorium.
Give me a break.
They said this is it. Now, in the previous extensions, though, I don't think they ever said, and this is the last one.
True.
So maybe they mean it,
maybe
or
they
maybe
mean it, or
maybe it's like what happens in court all the time. In fact, you talked about this with Michael Avenatti, Jen, where the judge will say, all right, I'll continue it one more time, and there shall be no further continuances, and the next thing you know, here's another one. So maybe this will happen, too.
And it's not going to change anything. The advocates of the moratorium, obviously those who are on the left wing, are arguing that this is so critically important that it gives people a chance to somehow control their lives and deal with it. It's a month later. What? They're going to be able to come up with some part of the $40,000 they owe? It's simply going to be more money they owe. And by the way, I'm not arguing. Maybe the time is that they're waiting for the time for the rent money coming in from the feds and the state to pay off the rent, because that program is being instituted now.
Well, and I just wonder whose job it is to determine when the recovery begins. When are people going to be able to pay that money back? And I'm not saying that they haven't had a horrible issue paying up until now. I'm not in any way minimizing that. But at what point do you say, okay, by now you should have come up with something?
Yeah, and who says that?
Right.
The CDC is going to make a determination of the economy, and their entire job is only public health. 100%. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and continue on with more handle on the news. Jennifer Jones-Lee.
A candidate for mayor of L.A. has started an ad blitz focused on public safety.
Councilman Joe Buscaino is trying to carve out turf on the issues of homelessness and crime.
If people don't feel safe, they're not going to want to live here, work here, do business here, and visit here.
Buscaino says his first statement as mayor would be to the LAPD.
They are supported by their mayor. They are appreciated.
And he rolled out an ad yesterday focused on homelessness.
I'll be taking my message directly to the people.
Buscaino says the city needs an enforceable anti-camping ordinance coupled with faster construction of housing in LA. Chris Ancarlo, KFI News.
San Francisco city workers reportedly will have to be vaccinated against COVID-19 when a vaccine gets full federal approval, or they could be fired. The San Francisco Chronicle says the policy covering 35,000 workers may be the first by any city or county in the U.S. Lawmakers in California have passed a bill calling for gender-neutral terms in politics.
It all started when Governor Newsom was looking for a new attorney general earlier this year. Assemblywoman Rebecca Bauer-Cahan looked up the job requirements and said in many instances the law assumed the AG is a man. The state code had several references to he, him, and his when referring to the AG and other statewide elected officials, even though Vice President Kamala Harris had been the state's first female attorney general. The bill now heads to Governor Newsom's desk. Deborah Mark, KFI News.
A new gender identity law has been signed in New York in honor of the state's 10-year anniversary of the Marriage Equality Act.
The Gender Recognition Act eliminates barriers that undermine the health, safety, and equality of people because of their gender. It affirms basic human dignity.
Governor Andrew Cuomo says the law will allow non-binary and transgender residents to change their state IDs and documents to gender-neutral terms, including an X for gender designation and parent instead of mother or father. And crews in Newport Beach have packed sand 14 feet high to protect the Balboa Peninsula from high tides. Public Works Deputy Director Micah Martin says heavy equipment was used to fortify the berms so they're 4 to 6 feet higher than usual.
Last year, the high surf got significantly higher than forecasted, and it really just kind of caught everyone off guard. So this year, we've really exceeded those efforts. Should it go above and beyond what's expected, we should be better prepared.
Martin says high surf warnings going into the weekend have forecasted swells as high as 7.5 feet. The National Weather Service also warned of strong rip currents at beaches along the coast of OC. Let's check out the stall on the 91.
Looking at Anaheim, 91 eastbound right at the 57. It's a semi with a trailer attached. They're in the core point here trying to get that going, I think, under their own power. But in the meantime, just a little slow as you see that there in the Gore Point. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by injury attorney superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Boss, 605.
All right, this is really a major event, so listen up. The Drive Santa Fe Springs up through Whittier. This happened at 2:30 this morning, by the way, just to give you an idea what's going on. North 605 closed completely at Rose Hills. All traffic must exit at Rose Hills or before, and before is the magic word here. North 405 stops just north of the I-5. You don't want to go to the closure. It's all about a fatal crash investigation. Southbound, all lanes are open, but it's a crawl from the 10 freeway all the way down. Now, for northbound travel across the LA Basin, the North 710 is the way to go. From the Queen Mary up to the 60, it's wide open. You really don't want to be on this freeway. For surface streets around here, as Robin suggested earlier, I just had a look at it. Norwalk Boulevard up to Workman Mill. It changes names there, pretty much the same street. But you get on to North 605 at Peck Road or go up to Crossroads at the 60. It'll help you out. Southbound, mind you, all lanes are open. Tough drive here. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Law, KFI in the Sky.
Record Cerritos on the 91E westbound at the 605. Two-car wreck there on the right shoulder, but it is slowing you down at Studebaker. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Banks.
The Dodgers have dropped 4 in a row, falling 4-0 to the Cubs. But as Mookie Betts points out, no team can win all the time.
We play 162 games. I don't know very many teams that are hot for 162 games. So you go with the waves. That's pretty much it.
Game 2 today at 7:10 with Tony Gonsolin starting. Listen live on AM 570 LA Sports or in HD through the iHeart Radio app. The Angels are back after a day off. They face the Tampa Bay Rays at 4:10 this afternoon. Griffin Canning set to start. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
SoCal weather from KFI. We've got a sunny day ahead, but we are starting this warming trend. So temperatures are going to be from the low 70s to the low 90s. We'll be in the mid-90s by tomorrow, and by Sunday, highs should be around 100. Then we'll start to cool it down back into the 90s for next week. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Get sizzling solar savings now with Semper Solaris, your local veteran-owned solar and battery storage contractor. Being veteran-owned matters. Here's veteran, founder, and owner Kelly Shawhan.
In the military, when you give your word, it just is your word. Work hard and keep your word. That's what we do every single day. Everybody did exactly what they said they were going to do, and that really impressed me. I've heard about Semper Solaris and found out that they were veterans, so I knew they were going to do the job right.
Declare your energy independence. Choose solar panels made in America. We get the job done right with esprit de corps and honor. Add Tesla Powerwall and prepare for blackouts. Grab the federal 26% solar and battery tax credit. No interest or payments until 2022. Call 877-211-5591. 877-211-5591. Or visit SemperSolaris.com.
26% federal tax credit based on eligibility. Consult your tax advisor. Cannot be combined with any other offers on approved credit. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Expires 6/30/2021. CSLB number 978152.
Where do SoCal drivers go for a super selection of new Hondas and a super experience? The Norm Reeves Honda Superstore. Start with super value when you sell us your vehicle. Then choose from one of the largest Honda inventories in Southern California. Every new Honda is backed by our exclusive price protection guarantee, which states if you can find the same new Honda for less within 5 days, Norm Reeves will pay you the difference or buy your vehicle back. Plus, our friendly team makes car buying effortless and enjoyable. Hurry in for super selection and a super experience during the Norm Reeves 4th of July event. Visit our super award-winning Norm Reeves Honda Superstore locations in Huntington Beach, West Covina, the Irvine Auto Center, and the #1 Honda store in the world in the Cerritos Auto Square. Plus, we're now open in Vista. Shop online at normreeves.com. As for Global Honda New Vehicle Sales 2020.
Find the employees you need to get your business moving. Sign up with iHeartAdBuilder.com and create a custom radio ad to reach job seekers listening to stations just like this one. Get started today at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Alaska is like no place on Earth, shaped by fire and ice, home to a variety of wildlife that could make the Serengeti jealous, and warmed less by the midnight sun than by the smiles of the people who call this great land home. With some of the highest vaccination rates in the country and plenty of fresh air, you won't find a safer place to visit than Alaska. Visit travelalaska.com to plan your perfect journey.
Have you received your free AAA full picture quote? It gives you a 360-degree view of your auto insurance quote, from premiums to coverages to discounts. Visit AAA.com/insurance to see how much you could save.
Cedars-Sinai is right here, with over 250 locations in Southern California.
For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules. KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
24-hour news. More stimulating talk.
Bill Handel morning crew on a Friday, June 25, as we continue Handel on the news. Jennifer, Wayne, and me.
We have a deal. We got a deal on infrastructure. Remember, I think it was just yesterday we said they had worked out a framework for a deal. Well, apparently it's a real deal. $973 billion over 5 years, or $1.2 trillion over 8 years. It is way less than President Biden wanted. But he said, and this is true, and I think the way partisan politics should work, he said, nobody got everything they wanted. That's compromise.
There's a legitimate discussion as to what is infrastructure. I mean, everybody agrees, certainly roads, bridges, hospitals, rail, there's no issue. There's an agreement. Biden, and now I think as far as broadband across the country, I can think that's just as important as roads or bridges. I think everybody's comfortable with that. What people are not comfortable with is Biden including child care, including early education, including help for the elderly in assisted living facilities as infrastructure. And this is where the Republicans had a real problem, which incidentally, I agree. And I don't think that's infrastructure.
And I think it's interesting that for the first time, I don't think you're just coming up with a bipartisan deal, Republicans versus Democrats. You're almost having to get an agreement within the Democratic Party, because you have those progressives who refer to infrastructure, the infrastructure of childcare, the infrastructure of healthcare, things like that they're putting into this. And so the president's saying, yeah, we got this deal on the bipartisan side of it when it comes to the roads and bridges and that sort of thing. But he's putting it in tandem with that Part B, with the human infrastructure, as they're calling it. But he's saying, but he's saying he won't sign A, the roads and bridges portion of it, until B gets approved.
Oh, no, he'll sign A.
He said they would be in tandem. He would sign in tandem.
Well, he's saying it now, but faced with the choice to not sign or split it up, I think he'll change his tune.
He has to.
Because it would be politically fraught for him to say, I'm not going to do this infrastructure thing because I'm not getting this other thing.
Right.
But is this how you have to deal, though, with the Democratic Party that in some ways is so split between the progressives and sort of your mainline Democrats?
What are the progressives going to do? Join the Republicans in knocking down everything that Biden wants because he doesn't go far enough?
It intrigues me how he's having to walk almost two lines.
I mean, the partisanship here is astounding.
Well, SoCal gas prices, look at you. You're going to go to a place we haven't seen you go since 2014. And I never cared to see you go back there. But it looks like we're going to see spikes in the cost of gas that we haven't seen since 2014, because July 1st is next week. So we're going to do our summer blend on top of, now we've got the prices that have already been increasing around the region. I don't know what you guys paid, but it cost $75. Granted, I was on E when I went to fill up for gas. $75 to fill the truck up.
Yeah, it's lovely. And
$75.
Taxes go up.
Sure.
Another half a cent or 0.6 cents, because you can't have California without tax going up every 5 minutes. And that tax is connected to inflation. And you watch, inflation is on its way. And it's here already. Now the question is, how much? Also, there's a shortage because they don't have enough drivers that take those tanker trucks to the gas stations. I mean, that is unique. That is new.
All right, I know you're going to be talking about this later. Derek Chauvin is scheduled to be sentenced this morning in Minneapolis, and police departments all over the country are loading up on officers. In New York City, New York PD, they called it, the PD said, we're going to have an excess of officers, just in case, because you don't know what he's going to get.
Right.
You don't know what reactions might be, and people are, afraid, I guess. I don't think we're going to see widespread trouble.
Because you think Chauvin's going to get enough of a sentence.
Yes.
If Chauvin gets a particularly light sentence, I think the country's going to blow up.
Well, there's a floor. Luckily, there's a floor below which the judge can't go, but there's no ceiling for him.
And he has already said that he's going to take into consideration and rule there are aggravating circumstances, which never helps sentencing. We're going to talk about this later on, and Wayne is going to join us because this is what Wayne did for 28 years, is work on sentencing in the federal system. So Wayne knows sentencing really well. And that's coming up at, I'm trying to look at my list here. How are we doing? Oh, it's 7 o'clock.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there we are. You're hanging loose.
And Wayne, I'm going to throw this out to you. I want to know what you would sentence him to if you were the judge.
Or what you would recommend. Because what he does...
No, she just promoted me.
I know.
She just promoted me to judge.
I know.
You're
What Wayne does is he wrote the sentencing
Quiet in the studio!
Yes. And sometimes the judges paid attention and followed Wayne's recommendation right down the line. And sometimes the judge would take Wayne's report and recommendation and literally throw the paperwork across the courtroom and say, I don't think so.
Wipe their sweaty underarms with my recommendation and throw it in the trash can.
Yeah, all right. We're going to take a break, come back, and finish up Handle on the News on this Friday morning. Jennifer.
All right, so as we were just talking about, you've got Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of killing George Floyd. He is due to be sentenced in just a few hours from now. Today is exactly 13 months to the day that George Floyd was killed. Derek Chauvin will have the chance to speak. It doesn't mean he will speak. Now, there's a $5 million lawsuit in Florida's condo collapse where at least 4 people have died and almost 159 are unaccounted for. Lawyers say they filed it last night against the owners, calling the tragedy one of the most frightening ever in the state. And Microsoft's now worth more than $2 trillion. The software giant's market cap hit that mark for the first time yesterday. We've got a crash on the 5 we'll look at with the Kfi in the sky next.
So before we built the Persian Palace, I lived in an old duplex. It was built in 1927. And went on vacation with my family for a week, came home. The place was flooded out because a pipe had broken, and the water just kept on going for a week. And so I called the insurance company and actually started negotiating. They just didn't want to come up with the money. That's what insurance companies do. So if you have an issue with a flooded house, don't call the insurance company first thing out, because that's just not going to help you very much. Let me suggest Abner Gatt. Abner is a public insurance adjuster. Probably didn't know what those are. And what he does is negotiate on your behalf with the insurance company. He's representing you, so you're going to get what you've been paying premiums for years. That's Abner. He's been thousands of satisfied customers. He's been at this for 16 years. Call 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. Visit AbnerGatt.com, ABNERGAT, just like it sounds, AbnerGatt.com.
Hey, DQ fans, the Girl Scout Thin Mints Blizzard is here. The Girl Scout cookies you love meet cool mint and world-famous soft serve, blended together in this chocolatey, minty masterpiece. Grab it today, only at your DQ. Happy tastes good.
SoCal weather from KFI. It's a sunny day ahead with highs from the low 70s to the low 90s. This report is brought to you by Dairy Queen. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We're following a crash on the 5.
It's in Sun Valley on the southbound 5 before you get to the 170. Couple of big rigs got tangled up here. Middle traffic lane is blocked. One of those rigs apparently can't move, so it may be here for a while. Right now, the jam up through the 118. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by injury attorney superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, review the 605.
All right, listen up. You just joined us. It's a major deal. It's been working since 2:30 this morning. Driving to Santa Fe Springs through Whittier on the 605. Northbound is completely shut down at Rose Hills. All traffic must exit there or before. You want to get off way before. 605 northbound stops just north of the I-5. Fatal crash investigation going to be going on for a while. Now, southbound, all lanes are open, but everybody's looking. It's a crawl from the 10. Now, for northbound travel across the LA Basin, again, North 710 is the way to go. From the Queen Mary all the way up to the 60, it's still in good shape. Surface streets around here for the North 605, or Rosemead from the I-5 up to the 60. Norwalk Boulevard to Workman Mill, that'll get you to the Peck Road on-ramp, or just keep going up to Crossroads at the 60. It all helps. Long time delays here. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the Sky.
Irvine 241 South connector to the 133 southbound. The number 2 lane is blocked here. Debris all over the roadway as well, so traffic is starting to stack up. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Day.
This report is sponsored by the Southern California BMW Centers. Now through June 30th, lease a 2021 BMW X3 S-Drive 30i for $449 per month for 36 months with $39.99 due-it signing. See a Southern California BMW Center today for details or visit SoCalBMW.com.
It's Petros, and as you know, Sweet James Accident Attorneys is my choice for someone that's hurt in an accident, and I want to share this story about one of Sweet James's clients. For this client, it was a day like any other. Until it wasn't. He and his girlfriend were going to grab a quick bite to eat. On their way, they were suddenly hit by a car traveling at a high speed, caused him to lose control and hit a wall. His injuries were severe, and to make matters worse, the driver who hit him was under the influence. Sweet James Accident Attorneys took on the case and were able to recover $2.7 million. Insurance companies promise to be at your side in these situations, but they rarely are. The litigation team took the insurance company to trial and won. If you're ever hurt in an accident, call Sweet James. They can't guarantee the outcome of any case, but you can be sure you'll have a winning and caring law firm on your side. 800-500-5200 for the free consultation. 800-500-5200 or sweetjames.com.
You spend a lot of time indoors, cooking, binge watching, working, playing. So call the pros at Coit to keep your environment clean and healthy. Our certified technicians sanitize, disinfect, and deep clean surfaces and air ducts. We offer commercial services and restoration for emergencies too. So relax. The pros at Coit are on it. Save 40% on select services. Call 800-4COIT or visit Coit.com today.
At Loan Depot, they know that home means everything. That's why they deliver the dream of home ownership to thousands of customers each month, helping them achieve the American dream of home ownership. Refinance options, providing jobs and investing in communities nationwide. Call 866-888-LOAN. 866-888-LOAN. Rates, terms, and availability programs are subject to change without notice. LoanDepot.com, LLC, all rights reserved. NMLS ID 174457. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. For more licensing information, please visit LoanDepot.com/licensing. 26642 Town Center Drive, Foothill Ranch, California. 92610. Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
It's an all-thrill summer at San Manuel Casino. The chance to win big this season is heating up with $1.5 million in prizes up for grabs this June.
New winners are guaranteed to walk away with $100,000 in cash during our $600,000 Sunny Day Prize Wheel promotion. Join us every Saturday and Sunday for a chance to win huge prizes each week. Earn entries with Club Solano each time you play.
Plan your all-thrill summer today. Only at SoCal's #1 casino, San Manuel. Details at sanmanuel.com. Must be 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Hello. Hi, Monica. I'm the helpful Southern California Honda person, and I'm calling to give you a random act of helpfulness.
Oh my God.
We heard you'd like help building a podcast studio.
Well, I'm putting together a small entrepreneur business.
Okay.
I'm currently unemployed due to pandemic. I wanted to start a podcast.
Oh, cool.
Just to set myself up a small studio where I'm able to put my ideas out there, as well as probably help others who have something to say and they just don't have an avenue to do it.
Well, Honda would like to help. We're going to get you the recording equipment you need.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Whew.
Today, we help start a podcast, and we can help you too. Right now, you can get 0% APR financing on an award-winning Honda SUV, like the 2021 HR-V. Visit SoCalHondaDealers.com to find a helpful Honda dealer near you. For well-qualified buyers on approved credit through Honda Financial Services. Monica is a real person and was paid to be on the radio.
We've spent a lot of time playing solo the past year. COVID-19 vaccines are helping us jump back into the things we love. With the people we love. They're safe and effective for everyone 12 and above. Which means we're one step closer to getting the whole band back together.
All right, guys, let's rock. 2, 3, 4.
Make an appointment at myturn.ca.gov today.
I know I make fun of the people who are still overcautious and spooked, but truthfully, there's not enough of them. There's way too many people out there. The traffic is unbearable. John and Ken, I could not even get a cheeseburger easily in the In-N-Out line today.
Weekdays at 2 on KFI.
That's on Instagram?
Your very, there's nothing gross about it, I don't think, but your very unusual snack this morning is on Instagram at Bill Handel Show, and you explain what it is.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and finish up Handel on the news. Jennifer, Wayne, and me.
We mentioned this earlier today. Michael Avenatti's sentencing in his extortion case against Nike has been postponed again.
You know, just the hubris this guy has is beyond comprehension.
This is the 6th time.
He went so public with all of this. He was on everybody's radar, and did he not think? I mean, they have him contacting Nike and said, "You give me $25 million, or basically, or us." And then Stormy Daniels, he was her attorney. And he's accused of ripping off thousands of dollars for a book deal. Because not only is in New York he's looking at sentencing, then he's looking at federal charges in L.A. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. And by the way, and I'm not to correct anybody, but more to point out the absurdity of this, this is the 7th time.
Oh, yeah, this one will be,
This is, well, it's already been done. This is 7 times his sentencing has been continued. And the judge said, no more, there'll be no more. Let's see what happens.
A driver has been detained after crashing through a fence at LAX. This was at 6 o'clock last night, and apparently this guy who had SOS spray painted on his hood crashed through the FedEx cargo facility, and there were a few delays because of it. Nothing major, though. Authorities have not ID'd the driver. All they've said is that he is a male and no one was injured.
Very strange. I have visions of him getting onto the runway, speeding up and then pulling back on the steering wheel and thinking he's going to take off.
So about, 22, let's give you the exact number. 22 dogs are going to get new homes after being rescued from a kennel out in Riverside County. As you might imagine, they were not in the best of shape. The owner of this kennel relinquished the dogs, and there's a pet rescue in Studio City that's going to take over taking care of them and finding them new homes.
Yeah, my understanding is her husband took care of the dogs, and that he died. That's what I had heard, and she just wasn't able to do that. So whether or not she's going to be charged,
It doesn't seem like they're pursuing animal cruelty. It also doesn't seem like they were in that bad of shape that you would think about animal cruelty. Just not matted fur and
weren't
sort of
starving.
neglected.
Yeah.
No. And also the animal services people say, and this is great news, they're all super sweet. So they're all going to get homes like that.
All right, here we've got a story about a cow and a Grammy winner and it equals the story of one really happy heifer this morning. So the cow, we were joking yesterday, actually, Handel, you were joking, about what is considered a sanctuary for a cow once it escapes the slaughterhouse.
And it's not Manning beef.
It is not Manning beef. So you had 40 cows earlier this week that escaped a slaughterhouse in Pico Rivera. They all go on the run. I mean, they damage everything. They destroyed fences. They went crazy. They got 38 of the cows, I should say. They had to shoot one because it rammed a family, and then this one went rogue. Shows up the next day in a park in South El Monte, and yesterday morning we talked about how they corralled the cow and they got the cow. Well, Grammy winner Diane Warren heard about this, and apparently she's rescued other animals in the past. And she put up the money so that this cow did not have to go back to the slaughterhouse, but instead went to a sanctuary. So because of her, this cow now will live its life out at the sanctuary.
Huh. Now, when you say put up the money, because my first thought is, this cow belongs to Manning beef. Right. So is that what we mean? She basically bought the cow from Manning beef?
I think so.
Good for her.
And in terms of public relations, what's Manning beef going to do?
They don't want to be on record demanding publicly that this one cow be brought back to be ground up.
And, Pico Rivera officials said they'd received multiple calls from other sanctuary that wanted to take in all the cows. Now, there may be a couple of steakhouses that have a problem with this. I think it's time to end the hour. What do you think?
I think.
Okay, fair enough. Coming up, stay put, Wayne. You're staying with us. The Shogun sentencing is going to happen in a few hours, and we'll go through what might happen, what's probably going to happen. And Wayne, who's a true expert in the world of sentencing, is going to join us. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Prepare to be stimulated. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm here. The rescue continues. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Officials in Miami have confirmed 4 people have died in the partial collapse of a luxury condo building. Many residents of that building say they're lucky to be alive. This man says he and his family just moved into the building 6 months ago.
Ran of our lives, and it was nothing but just white, thick cloud of dust, and very hard to see and to breathe. It was terrible.
The 12-story building collapsed early yesterday morning, and rescuers have been working around the clock trying to find survivors. 159 people are still missing. As Handel mentioned, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is due to be sentenced for murder in the death of George Floyd. He could be sent to prison for decades when the judge hands down the decision later this morning. Chauvin still has to go through a federal trial on civil rights charges in Floyd's death. Handel and Wayne will talk more about specifically the number of years that Chauvin could get in just a few minutes. At least one man's been shot and killed, and 4 other people have been hurt in a shooting in Hollywood Hills. The LAPD says the shooting happened about 1:30 this